It was an Italian evening in late summer at the end of the previous decade, and I was having dinner outside in the shade of the Roman Colosseum, the emblem of a decadent empire whose ruins were everywhere to be seen. One of my fellow diners, a young graduate student of ancient history, suddenly made the disquieting observation that she could never speak ill of another culture. Not only was she unable to do so, but in fact she emphasized that she did not even have the right to do so. When I asked her, alluding to her own Austrian roots, what she might say of a culture that produced, say, Adolf Hitler, she replied that she, as an Austrian European, may criticize European and Austrian culture, and consequently that brutal dictator. My follow-up question, whether then, by her logic, a non-Austrian or non-European should not be allowed to criticize Nazism, did not receive a clear reply. But my fellow diner continued to insist that we should only criticize our own cultures, never others. I thus had one of my frequent meetings with the intellectually bankrupt posture of oikophobia, the hatred or dislike of one's own cultural home. Significantly, my interlocutor was a part, or at least a future part, of our social elite, a PhD in the making, generally quick-witted, and with a mastery of several languages both modern and ancient. I looked up at the Colosseum, whose dark and gaping ruin reminds us that all things will perish. Our own civilization is heading your way.